It's the 4th of July week. It's always like Christmas is to New Year's. My birthday is to 4th of July. And so it's always like just perfect 7 days apart. Disclaimer, I'm not a veterinarian. I cannot diagnose, advise on medication, puncture the skin, or perform surgery. The purpose of this event is to educate and equip proactive pet lovers to prevent stressful situations with their animals and or help them recover faster after a negative experience. I have a little experience with this. So today's agenda is 1, be prepared. 2, homeopathy. 3, supplements. 4, herbs, flower essences, infoceuticals, essential oils, pheromone. I also have a couple other new slides in here, equipment and lifestyle, and how to recover after the aftermath. So there's no one way to potentially handle this threat. So knowing your pet, you will need to accumulate an arsenal if your animal is already reactive and start applying them before the fireworks start. And even if your pet is good, because I have traditionally had very good pets with that. Plus, I've always kind of lived out in the country. So I wasn't being very proactive. And then my pets that I had a ton of confidence in suddenly became reactive. So know that even if your pet's been awesome in previous years, it may not be the case every single year. So knowing your pet's type of stress expression may help determine how you want to approach your management. So there's noise sensitivity, separation anxiety, general anxiety, noise phobia, escape behavior. So that's the flight or the fight, which is overstimulation can cause confusion. Even the kindest of dogs can become disoriented and trigger a fear aggression. So here's a really great checklist before the 4th of July. And I love this checklist. Just rereading this presentation, I added a few more things to it, but I thought it was pretty smart, actually. Make sure your pet's microchip is up to date. Your pet's ID tag is accurate info. Take a current photo of all your animals. If you use a GPS tracker, make sure it's charged. Fix any weak areas in your fence line. And I've had a problem with that before. Stock up on super high value snacks. Practice with noise desensitizing. Create crate train or create a safe space like a den or something that your dog thinks is awesome, or your cat. Make sure your pet insurance is current. Practice with products and equipment prior to 4th of July. Get a trainer to help if you need to. Somebody that comes highly recommended. Know your emergency pet care options. So I always liked people to know where their closest 24-hour vet is and call them in advance. I've had such good success with knowing my environment. And I call my vet clinics, my 24-hour clinics in advance to see how long the waiting is and if they can get ready for my dog coming in, and it makes the whole thing expedite much faster. The day of the 4th of July, block your doggy doors, stay calm. If you are one of those high anxiety people, definitely treat yourself. Treat yourself with whatever you need to treat yourself with. I have no advice for you on that. Go on a long hike or fun day to exhaust prior to the actual evening. Or, some people are letting off fireworks now, this whole week. So just get your dog exhausted, or even your cat. Engage your cat for as long as your cat wants to engage. Start herbs or meds before anxiety begins, get out of town, play something on the TV, white noise, Spotify, YouTube, warn and watch your guests who are coming and going. Keep your pets indoors early on. And you may want to keep a leash on your dog if you need to take your dog outside. And here's some 4th of July firework facts. An NIH study found that approximately 45 dogs take up to 1 hour to recover from firework trauma. 22 dogs took a day. The remaining dogs, which is about 36 dogs, 32 dogs, do the math, you guys. It took much longer, and some actually never normalized. So that's shocking. I actually kind of wondered about that. More pets go missing on 4th of July weekend than any other time of the year. Noise aversion is a real concern for cats and dogs. In fact, up to 40% of dogs develop anxiety as a result of the condition. Signs include pacing, panting, vocalizing more than usual, crouching low to the floor or hiding, having accidents in the house, damaging furniture, or attempt to flee. Fireworks can emit sounds up to 190 decibels. The World Health Organization lists 120 decibels as a pain point in human ears. Past 120 decibels can cause immediate damage in humans. These loud, quick bursts are commonly distressing to dogs. They can cause irreversible ear damage, including tinnitus and hearing loss. That's shocking. And in a cat, every muscle in a cat's body is primed to kill or to be killed. So the whole nervous system is always on alert. And that is a quote from Jackson Galaxy. It'd be fun to get him as a guest. And lifestyle, make potential stresses fun. This is something that I did with my dog. My dog had some aversions when I got him, and we would turn it into play. And it tricked him into it. And actually, he started looking forward to those things. So desensitize early on. Lots of exercise, dog dancing. Who doesn't love dancing with their dog? White noise apps and bands, dog music. They have like a playlist on Spotify, movies, brain games, entertainment of any kind. You know your dog best. And chew toy distractions like filling a Kong, make yak chews, raw meaty bones. But always remember to supervise your dog whenever your dog's eating a raw meaty bone or any other kind of raw food stimulation type treat that might be a choking hazard. And remember, you guys, this is a hard no, these rawhides. So you don't want to use these rawhide toys. They are laced in bleach and glue and all sorts of crap. So I said the C word. Homeopathy can be really effective, either maybe not prior to, unless you're using it as your constitutional remedy to remove any pre-existing anxiety in your pet. So if your animal's the least bit reactive, whether it's dog, cat, or horse, you can use aconite or gentium. So aconite traditionally is remedies general fear. Argentium includes many fears: impulsive, claustrophobia, anxiety, and separation anxiety, being alone. Aurum, and you can take it too. Aurum metallicum to combat most noise sensitivities. And borax. I've never really used borax for anxiety. but why not? It's something to consider. Now, I thought it was interesting that it was only a 6C, and now my cell phone just crashed. Oh, sorry about that, you guys. Watching the live stream and then it vanished. Gelsinium 30C, love gelsinium. It's for stage fright and anticipation of anxiety, so you could possibly do it a little earlier. This would be trembling with fright and great fatigue. The legs feel heavy and shaky. So if your pet tends to get shaky, this would be a really great remedy. Nux Vomica is for the driven, competitive, like to win type animals and humans that tend to maybe get more irritable or aggressive, or also heart problems. So if it's so stressful that their heart starts to beat fast, if it's overexcitement, Nux Vomica could be your remedy. Phosphorus is a classical remedy for all noise phobias. Stramonium is a fantastic remedy for a wide range of fears with panic. So anytime I carry it, the 2 bulldogs that I've owned, if I ever go out on a hike and it's a little warm, I use it for heat stroke too. So anything violent. And this is how I administer. If you guys are new to my page, I have this emergency type administration flow chart. So you have 4 results to implementing homeopathy: no change, slight improvement, good improvement, or a decline. In an ER type situation, you'd never want to probably see a decline. Decline's actually a good thing in homeopathy. It usually means it's the perfect constitutional remedy, but it might be too high a potency. So it's actually doing a lot more good internally and deeper within the animal psyche, but not necessarily for that ER that you're trying to address at that moment. If you're uncomfortable with the decline, you can literally antidote it by waving some essential oils or coffee beans in front of your pet's face and soften the blow of that remedy. If you see no change, I kind of have a rule of 3, but if you have no time for a rule of 3, you can just overlap a new remedy within 5 minutes. Normally it takes about 15 minutes for that remedy to absorb and be recognized by the body. If you feel like it's moving in a slight improvement, you can ride it out and see if it's going where you need to go. But if it's not impressive, you guys, you may want to change remedies, because the right remedy is always kind of impressive. So you can redose within the 15 minutes in between, or overlap a new remedy in 5 minutes. If it's a life death type situation, feel free to overlap. I'm not going to stick to a classical way of administrating in a life and death situation. You need to do whatever you need to do to get your pet stable and to make it work. If it's good improvement, you guys don't redose. Let it ride where it's going. And human habits want to redose, because anything that goes in the right direction, we get excited about, and you're like, yes, it's right. And then you want to throw another one in there. I do it too. It is the hardest thing to tell yourself, don't give it again. We're going to ride this out. The minute it seems to go decline or plateau, then redose. So don't take a remedy per symptoms, but find a remedy that is the overall whole symptom profile, the best fit. If you don't have the best fitting remedy, use what you have on your shelf. And that multi-dose method, you want to do it until you actually see something go in the right direction, and then see where it's going to go. I hope I'm making sense. Here's some supplements like theanine, L-theanine, and it benefits are reducing anxiety, lowering blood pressure, improving moods, and improving cognition. L-theanine works by increasing serotonin, dopamine, gamma aminobutyric acid, or GABA, levels in the central nervous system. Melatonin, it's a hormone supplement used to treat a variety of conditions in many different breeds. In dogs, it has been used to treat sleep and behavior disorders and non-allergic hair loss, and like alopecia. In cats, it has been used to treat sleep and behavior disorders and to suppress the heat cycle. In horses, it has been used to improve breeding rates. In ferrets, it is used to treat adrenal disease. And I think there's new research on melatonin and adrenal disorders. GABA aminobutyric acid, low GABA levels or functions can lead to many psychiatric and neurologic disorders such as depression, insomnia, and anxiety. Charlene. As a result of these conditions, many anti-anxiety and sleep-inducing drugs have been developed that primarily stimulate GABA receptors. I'm glad you caught that. Zilkine, it's milk-derived protein. I may be saying that wrong. It can aid in calming your pets naturally. It is often used effectively in senior dogs with new age-related anxiety. It is safe to use every day or when you have a family visit or any other situation where your dog may need multiple days of calming support. Here's a nice list of herbs that you might want to consider if you think your pet is going to have a bad night or a bad week. So ashwagandha, bacopa, rhodiola, valerian, kava kava, catnip. So catnip in cats riles cats. Catnips in dogs and horses, it's in the mint family, and it actually has a sedative value. So you may not want to use it on your cats. Chamomile, holy basil, hops, lemon balm, oat straw, passion flower, St. John's wort, not for your horses, skullcap, and cannabis. So herbs may not be the golden ticket alone, but could be of value and a nice addition to your anti-stress protocol. Start practicing with them ASAP, see which one works best for your companions. And remember, don't mix them with meds unless you feel like it's okay. And fireworks can trigger panic and pain flares and sleep loss. And a 2023 research determined the endocannabinoid system helps regulate sleep, mood, and appetite and stress, and also including in your pets. So different forms of CBD. I'm not a CBD expert. We've got Peter Shankarelli and Angela Ardolino, who are probably always available for consultations, and they represent some quality products out there. I think Bronwyn Farley is also doing some CBD now. So there's other people that can educate you. We've had a couple experts talk on Facebook Lives with us, and there's a difference between full spectrum and broad spectrum. So know what you're doing, know what you're getting. It can be a lot of money and it can be a waste of money. So just FYI, and I'm personally allergic to it, and that's why I don't use it very often or at all. I've tried it. I haven't seen great results, but I probably didn't use a quality product. So CBD supports ECS balance and may help reduce noise, anxiety, pain and inflammation, sleep disruption, seizure frequency. Pet owners survey highlights that 64% saw pain relief, 50% improved sleep, 49% reduced anxiety, and 30% fewer seizures. Now, I'm always a big proponent on cures instead of masking, and I always get concerned if people start using CBD for a dog's problem, you may be committed for the rest of your life on that. So try to cure things instead of be committed to a daily suppression. Oops, I doubled that. Okay. My bad. Okay. Flower essences. I'm not like the be all end all on flower essences, but I've used Rescue Remedy with some good results, sometimes none. So it is a blend of 5 remedies that Dr. Bach selected to deal with stress of any intensity. And it's rock rose, clematis, impatient, cherry plum, and star of Bethlehem. Mimulus is to help an animal be more courageous. This remedy is good for cats that are easily spooked and are afraid of objects or strangers. Scaredy cat is a remedy name, and it's for cats that are very, very shy, timid, hide with company. Stress stopper is another name of a flower essence. And how to use flower essences. There's different companies that recommend different ways. Sometimes it's topical, sometimes it's oral, and sometimes it's both. So just read your labels. Every company's a little different. And infoceuticals, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about infoceuticals. I love infoceuticals. I love infoceuticals probably as much as I love homeopathy. Infoceuticals are liquid remedies of purified water that are imprinted with minute quantities of plant-derived microminerals, but also infused with like this encoded vibration to help the animal or the human, their human-based products, return to specific functioning and homeostasis. The company is now called Energy for Life. It used to be called NES Health, but now it's Energy for Life. And they encode these things. They have 3 remedies that might be really, really beneficial called Chill, which obviously encourages calm. ESR is like my go-to for stress and audio for noise related trauma. ESR, my favorite story is the first day I ever had Harley. He just sat in the corner of my living room, wouldn't go to the bathroom, wouldn't eat, wouldn't move, like was paralyzed with fear and looked traumatized and was totally emotionally shut down. So I had this from Dr. Chris Lee, and I was experimenting him on animals. And so I tried it on his paws, on his belly, and I think I put some directly in his mouth. 5 minutes later, he came around the kitchen corner with a ball in his mouth, and he played like a banshee. He had the best time and needed to repeat it 7 days later, and then 1 month after that, and then he was good to go. I was just blown away. It happened so good, so fast, and it lasted for a long time. Essential oils, I'm not your expert, but Dr. Janet Rourke is. So I know she just did a presentation. If you guys caught that, great. You might be able to help teach this. So Roman chamomile, lavender, frankincense, vetiver, copaiba, also spikenard. Those are some really nice, calming, relaxing essential oils. And then you can diffuse, you can dilute, and use topically, maybe ear tipping or something like that. But always leave, if you're going to diffuse, always leave the door open and allow them an exit plan. Pheromone therapy, non-invasive calming option, invisible and odorless chemical signals of animals like natural animal release. There's actually two types of pheromone therapy. There's synthetic and natural. And so make a point to find out which works better. You could do your own research. They sell them on Amazon, and sometimes your veterinarian sells them. There's some good, there's some good results there. I don't know how to turn off the phone here, so I apologize. Didn't expect it. Detected through the Balmer so nasal organ. It signals, sends the brain, triggers calm. The dog one is called DAP, which is a dog appeasing pheromone. It mimics a mother's calming scent. And cats is the feline facial pheromone, F3, which mimics the scent used when feeling safe. Science says studies show reduced stress, fear, and unwanted behaviors. It's safe and non-sedating. Species specific. So you need the cat one for cats and the dog one for dogs. It only works on the intended animal. Dogs might respond quicker than cats, and cats also usually need environmental support. It can be very helpful for many cats from mild to moderate anxiety. Results do vary, and best when used properly before the stress begins. Pair it with other calming tools, and it should be safe to do so. And here's some things you can find on Amazon, and like some of them have over 2,000 reviews and at least a 4-star rating. So I was super impressed with that. Hands-on therapies. EFT, emotional freedom technique. This is what Joan Ranquet teaches, and she has a YouTube on this, so that might be kind of fun if you don't have time to go out and get products to trial. This would not be a bad thing. She walked us through this on a Facebook Live, and I got massive benefits for like an hour or two. And so that might be really beneficial for your dog or cat. Yin Tang acupressure point. You guys, I love this acupressure point so much. It is between, like at the stop of the nose between the eyes, and you just push on that. I pull dogs out of seizures hitting that point. So when a dog has a seizure, you just grab that area and push on it. You can push on it or do a circular motion for like 1 to 2 minutes, and it calms and reduces stress, but it also can pop your dog out of a seizure. Light therapy studies suggest that certain colors, such as blue and green, promote relaxation. But now there's new science saying that red light is also showing some promise in pet anxiety, promoting relaxation and improving sleep quality. We, early on in the membership, we had somebody talk about Jinshin Jetsu, and it's these handholds that are just light pressure, and you literally just balance your pet from pulse rates. So you compare one pulse rate to another pulse rate, and believe it or not, pulse rates are different in different areas of your animal's body. So you want to normalize that between the 2 points of the body, and it changes your pet just by holding it. It is a super boring technique, and you feel like you're doing nothing, but it actually really helps. It's recommended for anxiety in pets to do safety energy lock 10 and 13. If you're into Jinshin Jetsu, they have like these animal charts that you could probably find online. And they have a bunch of online teachers for pet Jinshin Jitsu. Music therapy is gaining some steam and proven beneficial for both humans as well as canine and feline. The power of music can be calming and relaxing. They did a study that dogs tend to prefer classical music, which is surprising to me, but not cats. They didn't say. And you can try noise canceling headphones. You can try earplugs. You can try a thunder shirt and those things. I've not had any luck with a thunder shirt, but I've heard other people did. I know when Peter had Allie and Allie was high anxiety, he tried these high tech noise cancellation earphones, and they worked really good. They were expensive, but they worked really good. And I would think most dogs would probably shake their heads, but I don't know. And it has a big C on it, so I'm going to assume that that's for cats too, but maybe not. And drug therapy could be used. I would not be afraid of drug therapy, and like you have to weigh your odds. So if it's going to jack your family, if it's going to ruin your marriage, if it's going to ruin your pet to be freaked out of his mind, you may want to consider drug therapy. And I hate saying that, but I can tell you that my previous bulldog dude, who had always been good about 4th of July, my ex-husband left the back door open, and the fence line had some holes in it. He ended up running down Culver Boulevard, which is a really, really busy street in Los Angeles. He almost got hit by multiple cars. It was a nightmare. And because he'd never been noise sensitive or anxious or anything like that, we never thought to practice any sort of prevention. And after that, he was always a little nervous. So you can always detox it. And if you have a bad reaction, there's always charcoal. So charcoal, homeopathy, and then also liver support. But practice ahead of time. Talk to your vet. And mindset matters. And they have done numerous studies about mindset and stress levels. A recent study from, I think it's 2024, it might have been 2023, but the article that I read was a 2024 article. They did at the University of Bristol an experiment on the smell of human stress and the emotional contagion in dogs. So as a result, it pushes them to make more pessimistic decisions, the dogs. The study is the first to test how human stress odors affect dogs' learning and emotional state. So that's very sad. So if you board your dog out and you know the potential boarding facility is stressed out of their mind, you may want to reconsider that. Scientific journal published a PLOS One study and asked 3,000 pet owners. So it was a kind of a survey in the UK about both their behavior and their felines' behavior. And the researchers found a slight correlation between the two. Basically, the more stress the cat owner claimed to be feeling, the more likely their cat exhibited a behavioral problem, a stress-related sickness, or some ongoing medical conditions such as being overweight. The researchers were so overweight, and I would call that a metabolic issue, possibly. And a 2018 study in the Journal of Animal Cognition tested the assumption that dogs can tell whether or not people are in distress based off their sense of smell, and apparently they can. In the study, when a group of Labradors and Golden Retrievers were exposed to chemo signals, body odors that were associated with fear, they began acting more stressed than they did when exposed to chemo signals associated with either neutral or happy emotions. And here's some very bad ideas. Adversive tools, so avoid fear-based gear that increases panic. And unfortunately, I've had a trainer use a bark collar on my dog, telling me that it was the most humane thing to do, that it reduces stress because your dog's not barking all the time. And I just think it repressed the verbal amount of stress, but increased the internal stress. So shock and or bark collars, they can be used maybe more respectful or invisible fences, but when a dog is freaking out, they can kind of glaze over and cause more pain. And especially on a dog with breathing or cardiac issues. So be aware that if your pet has a pre-existing condition and you are an expert in the field, you may want, and you're used to using these things with humane, reasonable approach, it could be really hard on a pre-existing sick dog. So prong or choke collars trigger pain and restricted breathing, adding to more panic. Physical punishment like hitting, yelling, kicking, just are abusive in general and don't seem to make things better, but worse. And then alpha roles domination is considered outdated and dangerous and trust breaking. And ignoring or forcing them through fear. So I know people that don't know what to do, and so they just kind of forget about it and put it out of their mind and just try not to deal with it. And that's not necessarily the right way to approach things. Also, some other people will flood their animal with lots of noise and overstimulate them and overwhelm them and thinking that they're desensitizing. But desensitizing is gradual, stair-stepping, and respectful and observant. Punishing or even rewarding on fear signs. So this is something that always trips people up. And I was caught early on with my last bulldog for rewarding him for bad behavior, thinking I was comforting him, but it actually just made more bad behavior because I was rewarding him for it. So he just got worse and worse. And once I quit that pattern, he was way more independent in regards to not overworking himself and like jumping in my lap. And he was a 115-pound bulldog. Leaving pets outside or alone, that's just risky. And a 2020 clinical survey, so they polled all these people about the strategies of handling fireworks for their pets and or dogs specifically. And this was the outcome. So 68% of owners responded to improvement with prescription medication, alprazolam and Celo. I don't even know what that is. 91%. That's pretty amazing. Natural remedies was pretty pathetic, but I also believe that this clinical survey, they just probably asked the average pet owner who probably read something online and wasn't knowledgeable about the actual thing they were trying. So pheromones, herbal products, nutraceuticals, essential oils, homeopathic remedies, and Bach flowers, and placebo, basically. So everybody thought Bach flower was no better than a placebo. I've seen it work a few times, but I've also had that result too. Pressure vests, 44%, training techniques, relaxation training, 69%, noise and CDs, 55%. I would still give natural remedies a good go, but if you have a super high anxiety dog, you may have to spend a little money doing higher quality CBD or noise canceling headphones. Just really depends. I mean, gosh, it's smoky too. So it may not only be the sound, it could be the fact that the air quality and it's like hazy. So it gets like a war zone out here in town, and just the air quality is crappy for the next couple days. So you may want to just leave town and go towards the mountains or something that has a firework restricted area. Instead of large booms and bright lights, go for a hike, go camp out somewhere, or rent a cabin out in the woods. And also, I encourage you to contact your city officials and push for less noisy options like drone shows instead of pyrotechnics. Because not only are those fireworks noisy, the air quality is horrible and it's hard on people and animals with restricted breathing. So after the celebration, check your yard for firework debris before allowing your pets outside to play or relax. Even if you didn't set off fireworks yourself, debris can make its way into your yard where curious animals may pick it up to play or eat, which a lot of these fireworks are seriously toxic to your animals. Check your pastures and remove the debris to protect your horses and livestock. If you hosted guests, check both your yard and your home for food scraps or dangerous debris that might be hanging out, like food skewers, like if you barbecued and had kebabs. And in the unfortunate event that you lose your pet, search your property thoroughly, including culverts. I have this lost pet prayer that I pray. I get a lot of people calling me for lost pets, and I pray Luke 15, and I tell Jesus to tell the pet to come home. Gosh, you guys, it's like 90% effective. Post on community pages like Facebook, contact your microchip company, try to attract your pet with their high value foods. Leave your pet's bed outside, post lost flyers, ask around your neighborhood, contact your local shelters, and check the lost pet, lost and found ads daily. And now they have new facial recognition technology. I didn't know that. And homeopathy, if you did not have a good 4th of July, Ignacia, Arnica, Phosphorus, Caliphos, Nux Vomica are all some great options for grief and trauma. Bentonite clay flushes out the chemistry of worry. So it flushes out like the adrenaline, the cortisol, and rebalances a very acidic pH. It returns it back to alkaline or neutral. Those infoceuticals, they're very therapeutic for repair. I would definitely do gut support, gut-brain axis. So maybe the brain controls the gut, maybe the gut controls the brain, and maybe they do both. But if your dog or cat is emotionally injured, definitely support the gut. The EFT, the emotional freedom technique, the supplements for de-stressing could be like ginkgo, essential oil therapy, skullcap is a lovely one, ashwagandha, nootropics, and DMG. DMG is also something that would help reduce the buildup of toxicity. Emotions are toxic and they secrete a chemistry that's toxic within the body. So you do want to be really proactive about detoxification. And thank you for watching, you guys. I hope you never have a bad 4th of July. I hope your pets always stay calm and happy and that they love it as much as most every American on this planet. If you do know any other pet management hacks not mentioned, comment below. I would love to hear about it. Sharing is caring. All right. Thank you for your time. I am going to stop sharing. And whoever might be on this call, if you guys want to chat about this, feel free to do so. Hey, Anne-Marie. Go ahead and unmute yourself. I have this big shadow on my face. I'm trying to like adjust and stuff.
You're hilarious. Callie panics with
You are, wait, say it again. You were breaking up.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Callie panics when there's fireworks and thunderstorms, but an old lady blend for her, and she will lay in my lap and watch fireworks immediately. I put that on her.
What do you put on her? Essential oil
It's
blend?
unbelievable.
You cut out right when
Mhm.
you said what you used.
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, it's an essential oil blend.
Oh, and you make it
Uh,
yourself?
there.
Do you make
I'm
it?
not. I don't. I'm not losing. I used the DoTerra grounding blend and the Courage blend, and then I added some things to it. And I will show her. I have two different ones, and I'll show them to her. I'll take the lid off and I'll present them to her. She actually will ask for them. She knows where they are, and she comes and paws at me and tells me that she wants them. And so I'll ask her, "Do you want your oils?" And she'll tell me yes or no. And so when she says yes, I take the lids off. I show them to her. She sniffs them and she tells me which one that she wants. Sometimes it's both. And then I'll put it on, and she'll go from literally clawing at me, freaking out, panicked, to 5 minutes later, sitting in my lap watching the fireworks, just sitting there looking at them.
Wow.
It's
That's
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing.
It's awesome.
That's amazing. Anne Marie, it's a rare occasion you get to be here. Unmute yourself.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are
You
you?
look great.
Thank you.
Hey, Poppy, since I moved in November, Misha is so much more sensitive to the firecrackers going off. Um, I don't think I don't think it's more often here than it was, but it just she's reacting to them so much more.
Did you get a rabies shot after you moved?
No.
No? Do you think there's some like riffraff going around your neighborhood?
What do you mean?
Like maybe some suspicious people, or she just doesn't have a secure spot where she feels safe.
Yeah, there's a highly reactive dog upstairs.
Okay.
And so I'm wondering if that's part of the emotions, but they don't really interact.
Yeah,
We go out the front and they go out the back.
no, but just him maybe being upset and tense upstairs sets the mood, and they smell really amazing. So she might be picking up on that too.
Feeling,
Yeah. You should check out that E emotional freedom technique, EFT, because that's pretty amazing. And there's a YouTube video link to that. I'll put the slides in the membership, and you
uh-huh.
can just flip through them and check it out.
Yeah. Because I was like, there's really not that much. I mean, this is more space, but she just seems to be really reactive to the noise of a single firecracker. She will just turn around and run home, or run into the closet.
Well, you could try phosphorus for sure.
Phosphorus.
Yeah, I love phosphorus, and it's a good one to have on hand. It's for any sort of bleeding, if you're going to just use it for first aid. And I use it post surgical procedure to purge um the sedation.
Uh-huh. There was one also that you said really early on in your presentation, like for calming.
The
What was
ESR.
ESR?
I love ESR. I don't know if you can get it that fast, but yeah. And Stacy's saying that she uses Trauma Life is a pretty good essential oil from Young Living. I'm new to doTERRA, but learning about their oils. Cool, Stace. Thank you for your share, you guys. I love hearing what you guys use and what you're going through. And like I said, my American Bulldog was always calm until my ex-husband left the back door open and he ran out and then freaked himself out and then found a hole in the fence and ran down Culver Boulevard. And that was an absolute disaster. Like he was lucky to make it through that night.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of the icings on the cake of divorce for me. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, it may stress your marriage.
It might work on it, but so do you think the heat, the other part is we were talking about the heat and how it's so hot and humid right now. It's like August here instead of June.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's just even more sensitive because of that, or she had a little bit of a heat stroke and I need to be even more
So
careful.
if that's the case, use stramonium.
Tremor.
Stramonium's not a great to find remedy. Like you probably have to order it online because it's not going to be at like Sprouts Farmers Market or Vitamin Shop, maybe. So Stram's really great for pets that like stress and overheat at the same time. So if they're stressing and they're panting and they're creating heat within their body or outside of their body, it's a perfect remedy for that. And usually they just kind of fall asleep, cool off, quit stressing, go to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that remedy so much. That remedy has saved my two bulldogs from heat stroke several times. Because
Yeah, that was the one I think I was thinking of from earlier in your presentation. You were saying it's great for heat stroke. I'm like, I wonder if she's, I told you, quick wrote you a little note. I think I had a little thing with Misha, but I'm not sure.
I don't remember even seeing that.
Yeah,
So
it's
many
good.
people have messaged me between Harley's death and my birthday that I've kind of lost track of everything. So
Yeah,
yeah, unfortunately.
yeah. It was just she just basically slept in my bed. She literally got on my pillow and laid there
Oh,
for about 12 hours, just in the air conditioning and like slept. So I was like,
oh,
I think we had a little something go on here, but just like, being double coated and black and it being 90 some degrees. I think we had a little bit of and she's getting older. So I'm like, do I have to pay more attention now that she's older, that she's more delicate?
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And look into nootropics. How old is she?
she's 12.
Okay. So look into a little ginkgo maybe, or maybe melatonin during this time frame, or the GABA, like all the kind of senior citizen stuff. I do like DMG. I do use DMG quite a bit in my practice. Just make sure there's no xylitol in your DMG. So you can get a pet friendly DMG or a human one, but no xylitol. And
No xylitol?
no xylitol. Xylitol or birch sugar will kill a dog. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
that's
God.
nothing to screw around with. So look under the inert ingredients or the other ingredients to make sure it's safe.
Okay.
And I hope you guys really enjoyed this. And yeah, I'm all facelift that heat stroke one, and we can talk about that next month, or I can just throw a separate presentation on a Saturday or something if you guys want. I'm here for you.